Oh hey, it's your friend that once got catfished into sending not one, not two, but 12 different pictures of his calf muscles, only to find out it was actually my doctor the entire time, and he was worried about the fat that was occurring around my ankles. Anyway, I'm back for some more tech tea. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here are 4 tech updates to get you started with your week. After 33 years, Windows is getting rid of the blue screen of death. Here's what you need to know. Back in April of 1992, Windows 3.1 was released. This was the first introduction to what we now call, quite unaffectionately, the blue screen of death. The original blue messages, which started out as the Control-Alt-Delete screens, were written 33 years ago by Steve Ballmer. They were less death and more of blue screens of unhappiness. Ballmer was the CEO of Microsoft for 14 years after Bill Gates, but before that, he had a long tenure with the company, including operating systems development and among many others. The true screen of death was really just a basic black screen which acted like a command terminal. As Windows progressed over the years, however, they started displaying more messages using the blue screen over the black one. Which is why, even though Microsoft has clarified in several different blogs, the CEO made famous for the blue screen of death wasn't actually the author of the cause of all of your frustration. Coming full circle back to the present though, Windows is reverting back to the black screen of death of olden times. The new screen, along with a different color, provides a bit more context for the error than a code which you previously would receive and then would have to look it up either after a boot or in some cases on a different device altogether. The company has stated that it will roll out this new black screen of death in an update to Windows 11 later this summer, alongside its new quick machine recovery feature. Their hope is to not only help users diagnose issues more efficiently, but provide quick recovery options in order to make Windows more resilient overall. Meta AI may start ingesting your entire camera roll if you're not careful. Here's what's happening. So Facebook currently uses Meta AI on your images in order to let you touch them up or customize them with AI, right? It's definitely not a new concept. However, given the company, it does incite a little bit of the ick, thinking about all the data they may be able to access if you're not careful. When Facebook users try to create a new story on their profile now, there's now a screen which pops up asking if you would like to opt into cloud processing in order to allow creative suggestions. If you let it, the app says that it will curate your camera roll for you, giving you ideas for collages, recaps, and AI restyling tools. It also states that it will select media from your camera roll and upload it to the cloud on an ongoing basis on time, location, and themes. If you click allow, it makes you agree to their AI terms of service, which include scanning your face and profile for future use. It is 100% your choice whether or not this is kosher for you. But what about the others in the pictures that haven't consented to their face being analyzed by Meta's AI? Or what about children that are in your camera roll? Is the ingestion of that data really worth AI created themes? We're in this era where tech companies like Meta, Google, and others are rushing to be innovative, but it's also an area where there are very few safety and privacy laws implemented to protect the users, especially here in the US. Facebook has already been in countless lawsuits because of some of their shadier practices, and we know most laws happen as reaction to events, not before so. If these features seem really cool to you, just be careful who or what from your camera rolls you're allowing Meta to have control over. Death Stranding 2 released last week, and while a lot of people are loving it, some are saying it's actually breaking their consoles. Here's what you need to know. Death Stranding and its latest successor, On the Beach, are both beautiful games, which are incredibly demanding on consoles. The most recent title is only available on PlayStation 5, and some players are reporting that it is causing their consoles to overheat and crash. Since the game only came out a few days ago, there's still limited data available to work with, but early reports from console owners say that the issue is affecting primarily original PS5 and PS5 Slim versions of the console. The owners are saying that the overworld map being open for a few minutes will cause the PS5 to display the overheating error message and then just shut down. PS5 Pro owners aren't getting crashes per se, but are saying that their consoles are getting extremely hot to touch. There is likely another patch on the way which can fix this issue for this game. However, this news comes at a time when there are other reports of the console's liquid metal causing fatal errors to the system in general. The more demanding a game gets, the more chance it has to suffer from the liquid metal leaking from its slot, rendering their PlayStation unusable. Newer PS5s are supposed to have ridges introduced to these pain points. However, there's still a big chunk of owners with original variants, like myself, which may be susceptible to this faulty design. As PS5 games get more and more demanding, this may be a problem which happens more often. And finally, Mario Kart World is the latest victim to review bombing, as players are big mad about the latest update. Here's what you need to know. Mario Kart World hasn't been out for a month yet, but has been a major hit for Nintendo. Part of that is due to it being the only mainstream release title for the Switch 2, which is wild to me still. One of the quirks to this game is the open world in between traditional tracks. Before, when we played online, we would be able to join others in different cups and race through each of the courses. Whereas now, unless you're playing in a ranked online match, Nintendo really wants you to race on the roads in between these traditional courses. These have been dubbed the intermission tracks. Prior to this patch, you've been able to kind of cheat the system by selecting random on the last track, which would give you a random 3-lap traditional map. Would love more than one, but fans were happy to at least have that little morsel of old game in there. But now, after the patch 1.1.2, Nintendo has fixed this glitch, so if you select random, it will just give you a 4th intermission track, forcing all online players to only play non-traditional courses. These are a bit loathsome since, well, yes, they do offer more variety, they are a bit more boring than the curvy, more exciting cupped matches. The answer, of course, is to take to Metacritic to air out their frustration. At the time of this story, the game has went from a generally favorable user rating to now sitting at a 7.4 score, with about 34% of those reviews scoring as mixed or negative based on that update. Nintendo has not responded since the update went live about 5 days ago, but here's hoping the next revision will give players more options. At least that's what I would like to say anyway, but Nintendo loves to push the gimmicks that they come up with, so I'm more willing to bet that they will just ignore the reviews altogether and prioritize revenue numbers. That's all I have for news-related content, but I did want to just share a thought with you all. First, to all of my new subscribers, oh hey, and thank you for coming along on this journey with me. With the addition of more watchers, I've also gotten a couple suggestions which totally made sense. So to that point, I think I wanted to shift this channel to a more game-centric news and content-related one. I love tech, but I also think that we as content creators do need to stick to like one thing and hone that skill, where tech can branch into so many different topics, and it has been hard to keep consistent tagging for keywords. I wanted to do a general poll, which is now live on my page, so if you feel strongly one way or the other, go vote. If you guys want more game-related news, I may do like a weekly longer news update and then work on reviews or game content-driven videos. With that being said, that's all I have for now. I'm signing off, but I will see you later this week for some more tech tea.